Welcome. My name is Matt, aka Roadjet88. We are getting into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mods. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn was introduced in the TV series Rebels. He's works with the Empire. He is kind of like a strategist. He's that's basically largely what we see him doing in the TV series. Is he's a major strategist to war efforts. So if you go to my first video, he's also made a return appearance in Ahsoka, and it looks as though he's coming back in the movie Mandalorian Grogu. So I guess we'll see. But if you go to my first video in the mods playlist, I definitively explain the various different types of characters by definition, as well as the various different types of mods by definition, and what it is we are doing with them when we apply the mods to the characters. In this case, we have a support character, and on the online website swgoh.gg, it recommended speed and health. Here in the in-game tips, it recommends speed and critical chance. Well, he's a support. He's a leader. Speed and health allows him to move quicker with his leadership. It allows him to move quicker in his commands. It allows him to move quicker in any attacks that he does make. However, with the health, he's just going to provide a little sense of defense for the squad. It's just kind of doubling his position as a support character. But he's not really going to dish out a whole lot of damage, is the problem. He might have a little bit of a tank character type aspect to him. But again, a tank character is going to be kind of slower than, say, an attacker character. So if you want Thrawn to be effectively quick in his attacks as a support character, then yeah, critical chance might actually be better than health, to be honest. With critical chance, it increases the odds that when he attacks, that his hits will actually be effective. Whereas with health, all right, he might provide a sense of protection for himself and the squad, but he's not going to be very quick, and he's not going to dish out a whole lot of hits. So it depends on what you want to do with him. And if you want to have a second loadout of mods, then maybe you can take that into consideration. But if you want him effective offensively in an attack, then yeah, I would maybe switch those health with critical chance. The in-game tip might actually be correct. Those online statistics kind of are going in favor of what other players prefer to use. That's a lot of what that is. It doesn't mean you have to go with it, but so yeah, I'm actually kind of considering the in-game suggestion here, because it actually kind of makes a little more sense to want to have that with Thrawn, if you take into consideration what he is and what it is you want to be able to have out of him. I'm not in any way saying that the health is a bad idea, but what did I just do? But he's not going to be near as effective as you want him to be in an offensive attack. See, I was trying to get around to that word. You got a Texan here attempting to try to speak proper English, and that's just again, I'm a Texan. We butchered our English. Anyways, But yeah, that's Grand Admiral Thrawn. Um, so honestly, the in-game tip might actually be onto something. You're probably gonna get a little bit more out of him doing the critical chance with him as opposed to the SWGOH.GG's recommendation. That's just based off of statistical odds of what other players prefer utilizing on him, and they may very well have their reasons on him. But there's a lot of characters of certain types of characters that people get a little old-fashioned and adjusted and comfortable with doing. Like every time they see a support character, they think, oh, I have to use these mods. I have to use these mods because of this type of character. Okay, have you even tested that character out for a test drive? What is he giving you when you utilize him in an attack? Just because you had a support character that you applied a mod over here with this and this, doesn't mean that's going to happen for this character, even though he's the same, even though he's a support character too. I mean, just like us in the real world, in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes characters, we're all different. We all have something specific to contribute, even within sharing a role as someone else. Everyone has their own approach to that role. So, speed and critical chance, you can test it out, but like I said, if you needed to, you could always take into consideration having a secondary loadout on hand, just in case you want to switch it out. Because the other might be just as effective, but depending on who your opponents are, that's the other factor to take into consideration. So this is Grand Admiral Thrawn, his mods for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comments, questions, suggestions down below. And thank you for following me. The Force be with you.